This is the only Aer Pro Pack 20-liter review that you'll ever have to watch. And you're gonna wanna stick around to the end of this review, because if this is not the bag for you, I'll make an alternative recommendation for a bag that I think better suits your needs. Okay, first up, let's start with the gist of the Aer Pro Pack 20-liter. In essence, this is a new bag from Backpack Titans Air, a part of their Pro collection, which strangely with the naming isn't like really as pro as it is more eco-friendly. These materials are recycled both on the exterior and the interior, and ultimately it just features a lot of new things that Air really hasn't done before. We've got an 840D ballistic nylon, recycled from Cordura. They make great fabric. More color options, and a new little branding experiment, which the hardcore backpack community may or may not like, but for most people, it probably looks pretty clean. The bag has 1, 2, 3, 4 compartments, all of which are accessible from the top of the bag, with the main compartment being a clamshell style, which is great for sort of accessing the things that you need, especially the things that get sort of like stuck or that fall to the bottom of the bag, which is why I think it's a great EDC bag, everyday carry, but it's also quite a cool small one bag travel bag as well. The style is very urban, kind of hip, but wouldn't be out of place in a business meeting either. The bag currently comes in 3 color options, black, blue, and green, and I am all about this olive green. This is the bag when it's empty, and this is the bag when it's full. I'm gonna pack out this bag throughout the entire review so you can see exactly what it fits. This is the bag when worn on me. For reference, I am 5'8". Air has a lifetime warranty against any manufacturing defects, and as of recording, this bag, for all you see in front of you, will cost around $179 USD. Which I think is a pretty good price, all things considered, especially that you have eco-friendly materials. And if at any point you're like, Aaron, I agree. In fact, I agree so much that I'm gonna buy one. Then we do ask that you make your purchase using the first link in the description. The reason is that link helps make sure that you get the best price, but it also helps to support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel. Thank you very much. All right, let's start off by talking about the front of the Aer Pro Pack 20-liter. Really minimalist bag we got here, right? The old Air bags had like a zipper cutting through the center. A lot of bags might have a zipper cutting down the middle or a flap section, whatever. Not this. Clean, urban, sophisticated, with a little bit of hipster in there too. Really, we got this 840D material from Cordura. That's like the most noteworthy aspect of the front of the bag. 840D is great because it's a little bit finer than 1680, but it smooths the touch while still being durable as f***. And I like what they've done here with these stitching, right? This kind of makes the bag look a little less bloated, a little bit more sexy. And then you got the branding right here, Air at the top, which I am not a huge fan of compared to their previous bags. But I think compared to just other bags on the market, it can get a lot worse, right? This is still pretty subtle, all things considered. Let's talk about the first pocket. I'm gonna call this the front admin pocket. This pocket is accessible with a non-PU coated YKK zipper. Very smooth, but because it's not PU coated, it's not gonna be super weather resistant. All Air products use the same zipper pulls, these guys right here, which are quite nice. I like it for their functionality, super easy to grab and get that zipper open lightning fast. Inside the pocket, we've got some impressive depth. It actually runs about yay deep, but it only folds open to about yay deep. So we got the yay to the yay, which is like sort of like in the darkness of Mordor, right? It's like at the bottom of the bag. Overall, I like what this pocket's bringing to the table. In fact, I'm a huge fan of this pocket. Let's load this out with a few things. Now I've got my shades that's gonna go like down there in the dark part, right? And then I got some tech stuff and some organization stuff. Notice we have a pen pocket. I wonder what I'll place there. Not crazy about this pen pocket. It's like the worst pen pocket ever, maybe. It's just super short. It doesn't really suit the pen as well as you think that it would, but you can slip a few pens in there. Mesh pocket right here. I like this mesh, super stretchy, power mesh. I'm gonna throw my AirPod Pros in there. And then we've got a little pocket right there, which that just looks like a good spot for all my charging cables and wires. It is. And then I could also put my portable battery in there, but I'm just gonna put it in the depths of Mordor with my shades, and you can see it all fits nicely there. And then in the zipper pocket, we have a keyring solution. Not the most accessible keyring solution, right? Because if you're wearing your pack, you have to kind of like do one of these. You gotta take your pack off to grab your keys. But I got my keys right there, beautiful. And then for me, due to the extra security of this pocket, this is where I'd put my wallet if I had one on me, which I do not currently. I put my wallet in there, maybe some backup credit cards or some spare cash. Like I said, I'm a big fan of that pocket because it is like, it's not the most accessible, but it is semi-accessible, right? So if you're wearing the pack, you can sort of sling it over. unzip and grab the things that you need. I wouldn't say it's like a super quick access pocket, but it does get the job done from that aspect. Next up, let's talk about the middle of the Aer Pro Pack 20 liter. This is gonna cover 2 sections. Let's start with the main compartment. Now, unlike the front admin pocket, which has 1 zipper, the main compartment is accessible with 2 zippers, yet again using Aer's standard zipper pulls. But the cool thing is when there's 2 of them, you can actually intertwine them and lock them together, which will not stop a thief dead in his tracks, let's be honest, but it will help to deter a thief because that is harder to get into. These are chunky zips, YKK number 10, I believe. Nailed it. Not PU coded section, right? So it's important to keep that in mind, that rain might get through, but it makes it a little bit easier to open and to close because Aer has these little pull tabs at the bottom. And these pull tabs give you a point of leverage, kind of grab there to open and close the bag. But now we're in, and let's quickly talk about the first thing that I noticed, which is this internal material, which I'm stoked about. Not only because it's recycled, thank you Aer for doing the good deed, right? Keeping the planet nice and clean, but also it's just high quality. Feels nice. There's a silkiness to it. It does feel durable without feeling fragile. And I also like the color that Aer utilized. It's a light gray, which although it can get dirty a little bit faster, it also creates a highlight effect, right? Which makes the stuff in your bag easier to find. Overall, big fan of the materials. Great choice by Aer. I think they'll be durable too. We got a zipper pocket at the top. Pretty simple pocket, nothing too much going on there. This could be a good spot for maybe some food. Keep a protein bar in there for later, in case of an emergency. I always have a protein bar with me. Do you ever like always bring a snack with you somewhere? Like I always got a protein bar just in case. Let me know in the comments. It's like an essential part of my EDC. But then what I like about this is actually it's quite minimalist. Nothing else on this side. We've got a little elastic section right here. Good spot, methinks, for a book. Could also fit a Kindle, a small iPad, a notebook, and that's really kind of it. Now, I'm not a huge EDC packer, and what I mean by that is my main compartment usually just has 2 things in it. It's got a sweater and my big ass Sony headphones. So when I got those 2 things in there, that's all I'm using for my EDC, which means I got a lot of space that's kind of unused, and this bag, like, it can fit a lot more is what I'm saying. So if you don't carry a lot of stuff in your EDC, like me, this bag might be a bit big for you. But the good news is that it provides a bit more versatility, because if you want to take this bag traveling for like a weekend, right? You got a road trip from New York to visit your cousin in Boston. You're catching a flight from London to Rome for a couple of days, right? To go see the new Coldplay show. I'm not judging. I love some Coldplay songs. Not all, but some. Well then you can, throw a packing cube in there, right? Like this bag is big enough as to where if you just want to throw a few days worth of clothes, got a packing cube from Minaal, another packing cube from Minaal, or you can just say, screw it, I just need 1 packing cube and throw like a small tech kit and a small wash pouch. That's the beauty of this bag. I think actually for me, because of this clamshell style opening and the additional organization, and it just is really accessible, I think it actually makes a better small travel pack than it does an EDC. It does both very well though, don't get me wrong. So I'll keep that in there just so you can see it's fully packed out. Headphones on the top, sweater, and you can see sort of how this zips up. I mean, this is a very seamless zipper experience, right? So you can pack a ton more stuff in that main compartment. We got 2 water bottle holders, 1 on each side, both on the exterior. This is great for the majority of you out there because if I've learned anything on this channel, most of you prefer your water bottles to be on the outside of the bag, which means it's great because if you don't travel with 2 water bottles like most of us don't, you can put a water bottle on one side. This is a 500 milliliter with a bit more room to spare, right? You got some elasticity right here. But I like it because that elasticity means that the water bottle holder is a little bit more flush in the case that you're not using it. But like I said, in case you don't have 2 water bottles, you can throw something else in there. Sometimes I'll throw my phone in there for the quick access. Umbrella, extra snack, you be the judge. Top handle, nice, beefy, well padded. I like the nylon webbing that they chose there. Could have gone cheap, but they said, no, let's just throw a couple extra cents into this nylon webbing. And what's interesting about nylon webbing is I've actually been learning a lot about it this week because I was just in Vietnam because I'm actually making my own backpack that will have its own nylon webbing. Did you know this? I've been working on a backpack for a while now, and not only that, but I'm getting the community involved. Together, we're gonna build an EDC that just really changes the game, and I really hope that you'll actually wanna join us for the journey. So if you want to vote on some of the key features of the bag, get a behind the scenes look at the development, and who knows, maybe help pick which nylon webbing you prefer for the top handle of my bag, then I'd love to see you in your inbox, and you can do so by signing up with the second link in the description below. I hope to see you there. Back to this guy. And finally, for the main compartment, we have, I'll just call it the middle admin compartment, but this is actually another reason why I think this is a better travel pack for me than it is an EDC. It's because it's just a lot of organization. For my style, I do not need that many pockets for my EDC. But when I'm traveling, I like to have the extra, space, because then I can throw like, my Kindle in there, which I don't really use my Kindle in my EDC, but when I'm traveling, I like to bring a few extra things because, you're traveling. You gotta pass the time while you're catching flights and trains. But let's just say you're EDCing. In this pocket, we have a large panel here and then 2 smaller pockets. I'm also not as crazy about this compartment because this pan, it's a little floppy. It's not very flush. It's not very tight. It feels like your stuff's kind of gonna be all over the place. It's why I think that I like the slim version so much, because the slim version of this series has the front tech compartment, but it doesn't have the middle one. So it's a little bit tighter of a feel and a little bit tidier because of that. And like I said, though, I don't need the extra capacity in my EDC, but if you do, you'll like this. Just the floppiness, not my favorite. But you can go ahead and pop a few things in there. Could be a good spot for tech gear as well. Like let's say you're traveling with your laptop charger. But when I'm traveling, I do bring my laptop charger. So again, for me, one bag travel, a little weekend trip, I would load this up with some tech stuff. I hope you see where I'm going with all that. It's an interesting bag. Pocket's not gonna be for everyone, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Let me know what you think about this pocket in the comments below. Finally, let's talk about the back of the Aer Pro Pack 20 liter. Let's start with the tech compartment. Now, as to where 1, 2, 3 zippers are non-PU coated, this one is PU coated. PU coating is that really smooth texture, right? That helps keep water the out. And similar to the main compartment, this is accessible with 2 zips, which can therefore lock together. And they offer a pretty smooth opening experience, sort of a half circle, like halfway opening. Then we're in the tech compartment. Aer did a nice job with this tech compartment because it really decked out the materials. Now, it's actually, I say tech, but it's pretty tight in here. I would say this is really just a laptop compartment. It doesn't specify on the website currently how big of a laptop fits in there, but it says that the slim version, this guy, can fit up to a 16-inch, which means that this one should definitely as well, but double check with Aer. Do not hold me accountable if they don't, but it should. But here's my 13-inch MacBook Pro, and you can see slides in perfection with plenty of room to spare. 16-inch should be fine. And I love the padding, right? Because in a laptop compartment, you want padding. Oh, this padding's awesome. Both sides too. But you also want a false bottom, right? So in case you drop the bag, your laptop is less likely to get hurted by your clumsiness. And yeah, you can see the bottom of the bag comes to about right here. It's not the falsiest of the falsiest bottoms that I've ever seen, but it's better than nothing. Maybe I'd like to have seen it elevated ever so slightly. But ultimately, your laptop's gonna be very safe and very sound in a tech compartment such as that. You got this little elastic part as well. This means that you can fit like bulkier bits of gear in there, right? Because it expands, so maybe you want to put your computer charger in there. Could be a good spot also for an iPad, a Kindle, right? Because it's also in that area which is super compressed and very tight and very well protected. This is where you get a problem with water bottle holders sometimes though, because if this didn't exist, you could open this fully clamshell, which would allow you to sort of access and store things with a little bit more ease. But everything with a backpack is a give and a take. Back panel and shoulder straps. I have been a huge Aer advocate from the beginning, and one of my biggest things that I love so much about them is the comfort of their bags. I often refer to it as the Aer mattress experience because it is like having a cloud just gently resting upon your body, even when these things are fully packed out. And I'm happy to say that these packs are still comfortable, but I'm slightly, I don't want to say disappointed, but I just gotta let you know they're not as comfortable as normal Aer packs. Because similar to them like just kind of like doing something new with this series, they did something new with their materials here as well. And the mesh on the shoulder straps and the back panel is definitely not as soft as it was in previous versions. A little coarser, not quite as premium, still nice, still fine at the price point. Remember, this bag's only $180 USD, as opposed to like other Aer bags, which could be in the couple hundreds, right? But it's something to be aware of. Having said that, the shoulder straps are very well padded. Look at that beefy, I mean, like if you carry heavier sort of loadout on your EDC, you're still spoiled, right? I'm just comparing it to previous Aer packs. But in general, this is just really, really comfortable. A little further down, we have the sternum strap, which utilizes a magnet. Who makes you magnet? Oh, Woojin. Woojin makes great hardware, possibly the best with Duraflex. And sternum straps are great because if you're carrying bulkier sort of a loadout, you go ahead and connect the sternum strap right here. The magnet is nice and secure. You can go ahead and tighten it. And then you're taking the weight of the bag off your lower back and redistributing it towards your upper torso, which just helps your body. And it feels great and it looks good, and I love the magnet and I love the dangle stopper to make sure there's no excess sort of nylon webbing just sort of flopping around. But one thing I don't love is that these are not removable. I mean, technically they are removable, right? If you get like, you know, a knife, you can remove it. It's very removable from that sense, but it's not put onable again if you remove it. Then further down, Aer again, amazing. We are so aligned. They hate the dangle, I hate the dangle. We have the nylon web holder to keep the dangle in its place, and really nice nylon here as well. And one little touch that I like, Aer added the little thumb loops. So it's kind of cute. It's like when you want to tighten the bag, you can go ahead and just pop your thumbs through the holes. Do one of those, and if you want to be like the cool kid, like you can like walk around with your thumbs in the holes. Finally, on the back panel, same mesh situation. It's nicer and comfier than most bags, but we got a nice little cut down the middle. This is great for ventilation. This is the classic sort of Aer look, very minimalist, very clean. Nice ventilation on the back panel. And then in the center, we have a luggage pass-through holder, which in the situation that you are traveling with luggage, you can go ahead and slide this through the luggage handle, which sounds cool, but the sideways ones kind of suck a little bit because I always like a bag that you can do it this way. I literally just traveled with a backpack and a suitcase last week. And when it's on its side like this, you're like, yeah, it should work. But then like these things are like flying around and there's nowhere to really store them. It's a solution, but not a perfect solution. Do you ever travel with the suitcase backpack combo? If so, like, does this annoy you? Do you prefer it the other way? Do you not care? Let me know in the comments. I want to hear your thoughts. Okay, let's talk about the overall pros and the cons of the Aer Pro Pack 20 liter. Overall pro number one, love the color options, and this green color particular is just overall pro number two, actually, again, Aer's bringing a great price point for all the materials and the build that you're getting. I think $180 is a pretty good deal for this pack. And pro number three is going to be the next level organization. But I have some cons for this backpack as well. Here they are. Con number one, the comfort is great, but just not quite as great as previous Aer collections. Con number two, similar with the branding. Yet again, I prefer Aer's previous branding. And con number three is going to be this middle admin compartment, which feels a little floppy and kind of untidy for my preference. So let's say you're sitting there and you've weighed the pros and the cons, and you are thinking to yourself, holy moly, that's the backpack of my dreams. I'm buying one. Then we do ask that you make your purchase using the first link in the description, just right down there. The reason is that link makes sure that you get the best price, but it also helps to support the Nomads Nation YouTube channel, which we greatly appreciate. Thank you so much. But it's also possible that you're still here because you're like, Aaron, I don't want this bag, but you told me to stick around to the end of the review, so, you know, keep your promise, hombre. I got your back. Let's bring up some alternatives. Alternative recommendation number one is going to be the Aer City Pack Pro. This is going to be for you if you just kind of like that old school Aer look, right? The 1680D ballistic nylon, a couple more PU coated zips, and the City Pack Pro is one of Aer's most hyped pack releases in years. It's got a little bit more volume, and to learn more about it, all you gotta do is just navigate yonder down to the description below and you'll find a link to our full review. Alternative recommendation number two is going to be the Evergoods CPL 24. This is a bag for you if you're thinking to yourself, love the city urban vibes, but I just wanna see a different take of an organized urban EDC / small travel backpack. You're definitely gonna wanna check out the Evergoods CPL 24. And you can do so with the link in the description below. And alternative recommendation number three is going to be the Minaal Daily Bag 3.0. This is gonna be a great bag for you if you like the whole urban vibe, but there's just too many pockets going on there. You want something that brings it to a different, sort of more minimalist perspective and vibe. If that sounds like you can learn more about the Minaal 3.0 Daily Bag here. In the review, I'll show you my pros, my cons, everything you need to know about this bag, and whether or not it's the bag for you. Thanks for watching. My name is Aaron. This is Nomads Nation, and we'll catch you next time.